It's so hot. Why am I dressed like this?
It's perfect for today's car that we're reviewing, man.
I look like Kevin Hart in Jumanji.
And a Jumanji-like car.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so today we have the 4th gen 1.5 litre Suzuki Jimny.
Cool stuff. Who's it for?
It's targeted towards people who love the outdoors like you and me. Right now, look at this.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and people who want to own an SUV type of vehicle.
Yes.
Yeah. So, John, what does the Jimny compete against in the market currently?
Currently, I think its nearest competitor would be the Jeep Wrangler.
Oh, shit!
And if you look at the car, it looks like a Mercedes G-Wagon. And
Really smaller than
yeah,
the
in
G-Wagon,
photos
yeah.
it looks like a huge vehicle, but up close,
Yeah, look, we are like so big next to the vehicle.
yeah,
Like,
because this car is originates as a K vehicle in Japan. What K vehicle means it's a small class vehicle. There are size limitations and engine capacity limitations. So this car is only 3.5 meters long on its wheelbase. So it's a very nimble car as opposed to a regular SUV which is closer to 5 meters.
Alright, John, so this is the 4th gen Suzuki Jimny, right?
Yes.
How does it differ from the 3rd gen?
Okay, the 4th gen is slightly higher than the 3rd gen, so its ground clearance is better. Its approach angle and departure angle is also improved.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what that means is as you approach a hill, it can take on a steeper hill as compared to the 3rd generation. The 3rd generation, I believe, can take on about 35 degrees.
Checking the script. He's checking the script, guys.
35 degrees. The 4th gen can take on 37 degrees.
Right.
Yeah, so in a way...
Like 2 degrees difference is a huge difference, huh?
Yeah, it is.
It's all about the angles.
Yes, the 4th generation Suzuki Jimny starts from $105,000 for the standard variant to $107,000 for this premium two-tone variant. The 1.5 litre 4-cylinder engine produces 101 brake horsepower and 130 Newton meters of torque. The engine comes with a 4-speed automatic transmission. For more details on the Jimny or any other car, head on over to sgCarMart.com to make the smart choice on your next car.
Wow, that was a mouthful. But John, what's your first impression of the car?
Okay, honestly speaking, when I saw this car and it cost $107,000, I was thinking, who would buy this car? And when I read the specs, I was like, huh? Yeah, even Suzuki's own Vitara is around the same price and you get a better engine, more features. So that was what I thought about the car. But I mean, we're here today to actually figure out why anyone will buy this car or will they buy this car.
Okay, so for me, the first impression is it's a rugged, nice looking car. I don't really like this color, which is kinetic yellow, by the way. It's not green. But yeah, let's just check it out and see how it goes.
Okay, to the boot.
To the boot! I know how to open this. There's a handle.
Okay.
Interesting. Good. What the?
I'm not
You're
going in.
going in. How? No one can go in lah. I mean, maybe Julian lah. It's 85 liters, right?
Yeah, I think you can put a tent and some
Can you
basha
come
stick,
here? You're hiding behind it. Come here lah.
I'll be in the shot.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I'm assuming like if we bring down the seats, we have more space, right?
Yes, actually, it's meant to be brought down like that.
Damn.
And you get quite a flat floor for your stuff.
So when you bring down the seats, how much space do we have?
Apparently, some people are saying it's 800, but I'm not too sure. Looks like it's quite a lot of space.
Looks like 500 to me.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, let's fit in the usual shit. Whoa. Whoa. That was a close shave, dude.
Alright, with our market trolley. Oh, wow.
Can fit a lot more shit. Oh.
No,
hey.
it can't. A lot of people complain about my market trolley, but it has its uses. It shows how short some cars are in their boot space. But obviously,
Yeah, like that lah.
you can put it like that lah. But that's only if you are sitting 2 people in front lah.
We really need to do our human test, dude. Come on. Let's take everything out.
Okay.
And you just go in and like, you can look very sad in there. And like, we'll see how many sad Johns you can fit in there.
A few moments later.
So there's more enough space here, as you can see. Like, we can fit probably 3 sad Johns in there. So John, let's bring up the seats and I'm not too optimistic about this, but because the back seats really look very small and tight, but
Yes, but
are we still reviewing the back seat?
yes, you have to go in.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
Alright, so it's a 2-door car, and in order to go to the back seat, you have to go through the passenger side. You can't go through the driver's side, it has to be the passenger side. Don't ask me why, it's just a Suzuki thing. Suzuki Jimny thing. Damn! It's small. Alright, here goes. Ah! Alright, so in terms of space, there is none. For a tall guy like me, there is no space at all. It's important to note though that the back seat of the Jimny is meant for 2 people and 2 people only. But if people were as tall as me, nah. This car is preferably for just a family of 2 people. Like, maybe you can put some kids behind, but yeah, just use it for the boot space. Don't use it for people. It's cruel. It's a torture, man. Like, yeah. And there's nothing really much at the back either to review. Oh yeah, you got little handles. Look at that, I'm just holding this so I'll be more stable when there's like a off-road drive session, which will never happen in Singapore. But yeah. John, it's time for the front, yo!
Alright, to the front seat. This is where all the action is. First impressions, the Jimny is not pretending to be a comfortable luxury car. There's plastic everywhere, but there's a good reason for that. Imagine if you went off-road, got out of your car, got yourself good and muddy, you wouldn't want to come back into a cabin filled with leather. And that's why there's plastic everywhere, so it's very easy to clean with a damp cloth. Alright, and if you went to NS and drove a Rover, the instrument panel reminds you of the ruggedness of an outdoor type of vehicle. It's nice and simple, no fuss, no mess. Okay, this is the reason why you buy the Jimny. This allows you to switch the Jimny from rear-wheel drive to four-wheel drive to four-wheel low range. So that means that when you're in a sticky situation in the mud, the low range helps you get out. Also, you get the hill descent control as you're going down a steep hill. This helps you brake the Jimny and let you navigate the car better. And for the passenger, there's an assist grip here to hold on to dear life when you're going through some really sketchy situations in the mud. So now, first things first, let's get rid of this stupid thing. And let's see how the Jimny drives.
So in terms of space compared to the back, I feel it's really spacious at the front.
Yeah, I think this car is generally designed for just
2 people.
2 people in front. And when I first saw the car, on paper, it was really not a very interesting car in the sense that at its price point, there are so many other cars you could get with so much more equipment and
Tech and features and stuff.
yeah, and comfort. But after driving this car around, I can understand why people would get this car.
How's the steering?
At low speeds, it's quite tough. It's quite you're fighting the steering wheel quite a bit. But once you pick up speed, this car becomes very nimble. It's small and it's actually a very fun car to drive around. And it's easy to change lane. You can squeeze into a lot of spaces because of how...
Parallel parking won't be a problem as well.
Yeah, it won't. It is actually a very fun car to drive. I'm surprised myself that I found myself enjoying the drive so much. But that being said, this is a 4-speed automatic. So if you try to go faster on the expressway, this car will let you know it is trying very hard.
The top speed is 140 kilometers per hour, right?
It says 180 here, but
it won't hit lah, it will never hit.
I think it will take you quite a long time to hit that, or it might never.
So it's a 1.5 litre car. If you're expecting anything more than that, then this car is probably not for you lah.
It is not.
Yeah.
We have to acknowledge that Suzuki designed this car for the off-road. It has a leather frame chassis, which makes the car much more stable and rigid. Most of the tech in here is for off-road, and
Singapore doesn't have any off-road.
Yeah, but
places
if you want, you could go to JB. I think there's a few off-road trails there.
Hey, but why don't we go to the beach?
In Singapore?
Yeah, can right?
If we don't film, people call police, then we get fined. You know, PMD right on the shelter, gonna arrested.
We'll get fined, man.
Why don't you drive and you find out? Then I'll be in the car with you.
No.
So all in all, right, this car, I would say, is an enthusiast car. It's not for the regular Singaporean looking for value for money, looking for
Resale value.
Yeah, maximum number of features for the amount of money you pay. This car is a cult car for a reason. A big factor is its size. You know, how it's small, it's narrow, it's very fun to drive and squeeze around.
But actually, you'll be very surprised. You know, when we're standing outside the car, we're like way bigger than you. Look very big next to the car, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But then when you come in and sit in like the passenger and driver seat, you have a lot of space.
Yes, it's really okay.
What I really like, right, is the big windows that we have here. So it gives you that illusion of space, and it makes you feel like you're in a bigger car than you're actually in, lah.
Okay, one interesting thing about this car is when I picked it up, I stopped next to a tour bus.
Yesterday?
Yesterday.
Okay.
And then a lot of tourists got off. And they started surrounding the car and taking photos of the car. I felt like I was in the zoo and I was the exhibit.
Wait, where were you?
Chinatown area.
Oh.
Yeah. So it shows that this car is unique and it is a talking point. When people see it, right, they will be curious about it. And it is definitely something you want to take into consideration when you're thinking about buying this car.
Alright, so with all that being said and done, we've got our 3 options. Will buy, won't buy, go try.
Alright.
In 3, 2, 1. Go try. Alright, okay.
Yeah.
So, why?
Before I drove this car yesterday, this was firmly in the don't buy category.
Oh, that's interesting.
But after getting into the car and driving it around, and especially on the expressway, surprisingly, the handling of the car is just so, I would say, interesting. It makes driving interesting. You know, Julian says numb, right? This car definitely does not make you feel numb. It makes you feel very connected to the road for some reason.
Connected to
and
the
I
road.
found myself having fun. So
Really?
yeah, it was fun to drive. I would understand people who are looking for cars at $100,000 who want a lot of features. They won't look at this car. But I don't think this car targets that audience. It targets a different crowd.
Outdoorsy types, yo!
Outdoorsy types, but maybe those car enthusiasts who buy cars for an experience, for driving pleasure.
So for me, I said go try because there are things that I like and don't like about the car. What I like the big illusion of space that you have as the passenger seat as the passenger in this Jimny. Compared to the back, I really don't like the back. The back is so squeezy and there's really no space. But it's good that when you put down the car seats, you have about, we checked, it's 850 liters of boot space. So that's a lot of space to put your compared to the 85 liters that, 830 liters or 85 liters?
830.
800 plus, like 800 plus, 800 plus. It's just a lot of space. So yeah, for me it's just really about the space, and I like how the car looks very rugged. It makes you feel like, you know, you're more sporty than you actually are.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people spend close to 500,000 and up for supercars to enjoy that people stare at you on the street, and you can have it for $100,000.
So that's our review of the 4th gen Suzuki Jimny. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe in the comment section below, and hit that bell icon thingy. It's on the left, right?
I think here lah.
Really, man?
Yeah.
Okay, hit the bell icon thingy that's here to be notified whenever we post up new content. Thanks for your support, mad love, and see you next time.
See you next time.
Next time.
Bye.